Is electrooculogram by myself. I am Dr. Bharti Kashyap, Director Kashyap Memorial Eye Hospital, Ranchi. Good morning, everyone. My topic is tips on electrooculogram. Who is credited with the first description of electrooculogram? It was named by Elvin Mark, and the clinical application was described by Geoffrey Arden. Initially, it will look boring, but later on, I am going to discuss the clinical application of EOG. The principle behind EOG is the test to measure standing potential of the eye, approximately 5 MV, indirectly transepithelial potential that exists between the cornea and the Bruch's membrane at the back of the eye. Normal light peak requires normally functioning photoreceptors in contact with the normal functioning RPE. It tests RPE layer and the outer retina. Physiology is 15 minutes periods of dark adaptation. There is a fall in the recorded standing potential, typically reaching a minimum at 10 minutes. This is referred as dark trough, TT. Following light onset, there is an increase in TEP of the RPE, producing the light rise of EOG. This is the physiology. The light rise is ultimately the result of... Should I discuss physiology or should I fast forward? This is the prerequisite and special instructions. Head position should be stable, eye movement only in horizontal direction, never anticipate and move prior. Increase illumination in case of non-dilating pupil, avoid any bright light procedure before EOG. The prerequisite is pupil should be dilated, pre-test 20 minutes normal room light adaptation, full extraocular motility, good visual acuity, refraction correction not needed, impedance should be less than 5 kilo ohm. How EOG is performed. The stimulator is ganjophil dome. You can see here the fixation target is two LED lights, 15-degree left and right of the central light. Bright during light adaptation and minimum brightness in the dark. The pupil should be dilated before testing. After suitable skin preparation, recording electrodes should be placed close to the canthi of each eye. For the dark phase, total darkness should be maintained for 15 minutes except for the dim fixation light. For the light phase, a ganjophil background light of 100 photopic candela square meter should be turned on. Continue the recording for 10 seconds out of every minute in each phase. Active and reference electrode, inner and outer canthi, ground electrode forehead, and impedance should be less than 5 kilo ohm. You can see the gold cup electrodes. Black is ground electrode, blue is reference, and red is active. A patient has to move his eyes to LED with single sweep with head fixed. Sackets are recorded 10-15 seconds per minute, 45-50 seconds rest. Measure 15 minutes in dark, 15 minutes in light. Arden ratio is normal is 2:1, light peak upon dark trough. And if it is less than 1.7, it is abnormal. And basically it is used for diagnosing Best disease and the different types of bestrophinopathies. So the parameters which should be included in EOG report is LP by DT ratio, DT amplitude, implicit time, time from the start of light phase to light peak, type of adapting light source, pupil size, and also note any difficulty encountered during testing which may affect the confidence in the results, such as inconsistent eye movement, etc. The reliable EOG is just presence of a square and regularly placed wave forms. If waves are not that proper, that means either patient is not fixating properly or electrode is moving. Light and dark values are taken in respective adaptation period, typically 12 minutes for dark trough and 25 to 26 minutes for light peak. Background illumination 100 candelas per square meter. This is the relationship. The normal light rise in EOG requires a normal RPE and good photoreceptor function. As the light rise depends on the photoreceptor function also, patients with abnormal rod function will have a corresponding reduction in the light rise, thus mirroring the extent of rod photoreceptor damage. If ERG is absolutely negative, then EOG would be absolutely negative too. Some photoreceptor action is must to have an EOG reading. So we recommend always to do ERG and EOG together. In presence of good rod function in ERG, a reduction in the light rise in EOG is suggestive of abnormality located in the RP, that is Best disease. Clinical applications. The most common use of EOG is to confirm vitelliform macular dystrophy. Patients with Best disease and some patients with adult vitelliform dystrophy have normal ERG, but abnormal EOG. In this case, you can see EOG is abnormal. Ardent ratio is 1.33. So this is the chart. This chart is very important. So the first one is dominant best. The second one, which is autosomal recessive best trophinopathy, is recessive best. And the third one is the important adult onset macular dystrophy. So in the dominant best, EOG is reduced and ERG is normal. In recessive best, that is the second one, autosomal recessive bestrophinopathy, both ERG and EOG, I have written mildly, but it is not mild, both are reduced, EOG and ERG. And third one, adult onset, both are normal. So this EOG is abnormal irrespective of the stage of Best vitelliform dystrophy. This is a case of a unilateral clinical Best vitelliform dystrophy having a suboptimal Ardent ratio in both the eyes. In the eye where there is normal, but the other eye has a Best disease, the normal eye also will show reduced Ardent ratio. And suppose if a child comes and you are getting, it is very difficult to perform, then test the parents, both the parents. One parent will be carrier and surely exhibit abnormal EOG. This is the another case, 11-year-old male, blood vision, BCVA 6/9. You can see this is a autosomal dominant Best disease. You can see the deposits, and this is the OCT. This is the serous RD. And you can see here, ERG is normal and EOG is abnormal. This is the second case. The 10-year-old male born out of a consanguineous marriage, blood vision, BCVA 6/18 partial, hypermetropic refraction, narrow angles. Now you see, the subretinal lipofuscin deposits predominantly outside the macula, accumulation of fluid within, beneath the neurosensory retina and also within. This is autosomal recessive bestrophinopathy, that is called recessive best. And in recessive best, both ERG and EOG, you can see both are reduced. So this is the fast oscillation EOG. It has recently come in vogue. So it can be used for detection of severity of macular functional disturbance and predicting the visual outcome for CRVO. So that's all. I discussed the physiology and I discussed the clinical applications with example of few cases. I hope you all understood it. Thank you.